A big warm welcome to everyone who's joined us and registered on our New Year, New Rental Income webinar today. Thank you all for taking the time out of your day or evening to be here. Now, as for myself, I have been so lucky to be living and working here in the Algarve for nearly, 20 years now, and it really is a magical place. It has great weather, great people, amazing food, and a solid country when it comes to investing here. And today we'll be highlighting a five-star development here in Carpuero in the southern Algarve. Now, I will be joined with a panel of experts in their field that will guide you through all the aspects with buying a property here in Portugal. We will have Marissa. She's a Portuguese lawyer explaining all about the structured procedure along with the legalities of buying a property here. We'll also have Alejandro, who is a mortgage advisor, and he will explain on mortgages for buyers combined with very good interest rates, and you'll be surprised at what you can get here. And a very important thing is currency. With fluctuating rates, it pays to use a currency expert. We will be speaking to Claire from Moving Currency of the best solutions for you. Now, let me take a few moments to highlight why the Algarve real estate market, along with its rental trends, has a proven history for investment. We are seeing a market that's characterized by a strong and sustained demand. The reason being this is controlled supply of new properties. Now, this imbalance has been a key driver for many a year, for year on and year on growth here in the Algarve. Prime property prices have consistently outperformed with many other European markets, with annual appreciation remaining robust. Now, this isn't a bubble. It's built on solid pillars. The growth is fueled by international demand. Now, whether it's from the Northern Europeans seeking sun, safety, and the Americans and Canadians are discovering just what Portugal has with all its charm. The ongoing development of world-class amenities, that's one thing, but we've got fabulous golf courses, marinas, health centres, and it continues to raise the region's profile and property values. Now, this leads us directly into the rental market. Now, the Algarve has transitioned from, well, I'd say not being just a summer destination, it's now a year-round rental hotspot. Now, the Algarve is a hotspot for property investment with over 300 days of sunshine, stunning coastlines, over 30 world-class golf courses, and that's just here in the Algarve. There's tennis, there's water parks, there's so much more. And the food. Oh, the food is excellent, the quality of life is great, and the wine, well, it goes without saying, you have to try Portuguese wine. The inclusion of offering international flights from all around now, all year round, this is attracting the buyers and investors from all around the globe. Now, its political and economical stability in Portugal offers a safe, stable environment within the EU. Now, the limited supply, the Algarve's coastline is protected. There is only so much beachfront or sea view properties available here. The natural constraint on supply, coupling with rising demand, creates a compelling case for long-term capital growth. So it's not just interest on what your rental will get back, it's your capital growth here. Now, finding a good turnkey property is one of the smartest ways to build a rental-focused portfolio, especially if you want strong returns. This is exactly what Vale de Lapa we're going to be offering you today. It's an established five-star resort in the central Algarve, where every detail is designed with rental success. From the decor, the maintenance, the rental license, the property management, and all year-round resort, the amenities it has like restaurants, a spa, swimming pools, tennis courts, and more. The accommodation offers fully furnished two-bedroom townhouses, as you can see in the picture behind me. They are optimized with especially to occupancy, income, and long-term performance. It's the perfect model for investing. Any investor who wants a reliable return without the daily involvement. Now, let's start to explain more about this resort, and I'd like you hand over to Michael Stock. He will explain more. Michael, welcome.
Thanks, John, and thank you to everyone for being here today. So yeah, my name is Michael Stock. I'm the head of sales here at Vale de Lapa. I've been in the Algarve, been living here for near on 30 years now, and my background happens to be in touristic real estate. So this has been my bread and butter over the last few years. To give you some context into who's who, I represent the seller of the properties at Val de Lapa. It's a company that owns all of the properties there. And what happened last year was that they renegotiated the management terms with the on-site company who handles the management on behalf of whoever the owner is. That's both the management of the condominium, of keeping up the resort, licensing requirements, and most importantly and most difficult of all, the rental side of things. So this is a very established company here in the area. They have approximately a dozen hotels and resorts in the Algarve that they manage, a company called Details, and they're the ones that have built up the rental operation as it is now. Now, to show you, I'm going to share my screen so you can see Val de Lapa and not just have to look at me the whole time. Here we go. So here you can already start to see Val de Lapa, the resort. There's no Photoshop in this, so the resort is very much fully built, established, up and running. It's not in construction, it is there. And also the weather hasn't been Photoshopped. I was at Val de Lapa yesterday and was an even nicer day than in the image. I'm going to first introduce the resort itself, the properties, then go on to talk about the rental operation, and finally, the investment proposition at hand that we have here today. So the resort itself, what you can see here in the image is obviously very scenic and beautiful pool, which is very important to cool down in the hot summer months, and our summers last very long. And there along the ridge, you can already start to see the properties. So what we're speaking about today are two-bedroom townhouses. And basically what you're looking at, one veranda corresponds to one property in the sense that each of the properties are duplex, so two-story buildings, townhouses either in a row of two or a row of four. As it says on the screen, 124 to 130 square meters. So they really are spacious and give you enough, whether visiting or spending longer periods, have all the comforts that are required. Two bedrooms in each, three bathrooms. So they're all en suite, and then there's an extra bathroom. Now onto the resort itself. So as I said, I've been living in the area for almost 30 years, and so I know the area very well. Same as everywhere in the Algarve, John alluded to it. Golf is found everywhere. Also here, within less than 5 minutes drive, you find two of the renowned golf courses in the area, Val da Pinta and Gramacho. Also, you've got paddle tennis, the fastest growing sport in our neck of the woods. On site, there's two paddle courts, and you can just borrow rackets and balls from reception and play anytime. And what is a huge draw is the fact that one of the largest tennis clubs in the Algarve, the Turnkey Tennis Club, is the direct neighbor. So a few years ago, the management's made a deal and cut a hole in the fence, installed the door, so people staying at Val de Lapa just walk straight into the Turnkey Tennis Club, where you've got over a dozen tennis courts, paddle tennis, they do tournaments, social events. My family very much likes the outdoor cinema evenings that they do there with food and beverage pairing. So it's a great neighbor to have for some extra options of activities. And on site at Val de Lapa, there's also a lot. You've got a restaurant and a bar. I frequent the restaurant very often, probably too often, but the food is very nice there. Nice combination of Mediterranean with classical Portuguese. And of course, you've got swimming pools. One of them is even indoor and heated because, believe it or not, we do get some, colder days in the winter. So if you happen to catch one of those days, there's the heated pool inside. And also there you'll find in the spa building a jacuzzi, a sauna, a steam room, which are huge advantages to have just for the imperfect days. And this also very much translates to the rental operation itself, because having an established resort as in fully built and operating for several years is basically a cheat code when it comes to the rental operation. Rental operation is absolutely key, as anyone knows, to touristic real estate because that can make or break the value of a property. And this is why the rental operation Val de Lapa is one of the USPs here, in the sense that in terms of the two most important metrics, the two objective metrics of how well a rental operation is going, they're not just pulling their weight. They are leading the local market by a considerable margin. Client satisfaction, it's a score of 9.3 out of 10 on booking.com with over 1,000 reviews. So you've got literally hundreds and thousands of happy customers, and then the volume of customers. As I mentioned, my background has been rental operation in the last few years, and I know that in Curvoeiro, a resort typically is happy with about 60% occupancy on average across the year because it's very full in the summer, then lower in the winter. At Val de Lapa, last year, they closed the year with an average for the two-bedroom properties of 78%. It's truly astounding, and I've never heard of a resort achieving more than 70%. So hats off to them. I can say that because, as I mentioned, it's a separate company, so I'm not patting myself on the back. It's Details that have done an amazing job here and continue to do so. And the reasons why they've managed to do so. First of all, it's the main one that I mentioned, maturity. They've been running for years and years and years. You can only get to this point with continued excellence year after year, which they have successfully achieved. Secondly, it's volume. So we have several of the two-bedroom properties, and that allows Details to work with tour operators and acquire clients through channels that will only take on the larger operations and won't work with the smaller resorts, which are much more common in the Algarve. Second, finally, we have amenities in the team. So the amenities, having a sauna, having steam room, a heated pool, an indoor pool, all of this obviously attracts people who are coming to the Algarve for the non-peak times of the year, which, as John was saying, this has been a relatively recent development, but one I'm so happy about because me personally, the winter is my favorite time of the year here. No question about it. I've always said so. But you still want to have something to do in those winter months. And finally, for me, absolutely crucial is the team. So I've been working with them for about 18 months now, and I couldn't be happier. You can really feel it when you arrive. The team is happy to be there. You just notice this alone by the fact that the same people have been in the same positions for many, many years now because they feel happy there, they feel comfortable, and the team really does work, for lack of a better word, as a team because they help each other. They're happy, they're friendly, and that makes all the difference in a rental operation because whether consciously or subconsciously, a renter will notice these things. And that's the reason why Val de Lapa has gotten to this point in the rental operation. Now moving on to the investment at hand. So what we're selling here, what we're proposing, it's the sale of a freehold property. The two-bedroom townhouses would be registered in a new owner's name. So what you purchase is the asset itself, the property itself, and indirectly, what you're also purchasing is a share of this thriving rental operation. Because Details is the company that manages the rental operation and would continue to do so for a new owner coming in. And the other points here are absolutely crucial. It's low risk in the sense that the property is the asset that secures the investment. And you have two, not income streams, but two ways of generating wealth through touristic real estate. One is the most common way, which is capital appreciation. Real estate in general in high demand areas outpaces the pace of inflation. And it makes sense for that to continue to be the case. It's a simply supply and demand issue. Curvoeiro has been popular and thriving for 30 to 40 years now continuously, and construction rights are quite simply running out. So there's an imbalance between supply and demand. Result should be very solid capital appreciation. And then you have the benefit, the bonus of the annual cash returns. So the rental operation is operating and pays out to the owners every single year on the basis of an established rental operation in a high demand location. All of these are the characteristics that you need for a successful piece of touristic real estate. Now, I warn you, I'm going to get into details here. So whoever doesn't want to go into too many details right now, now's the time for a bathroom break or to grab a coffee, depending on the time zone, I guess. For those of you who do want to delve into the details, The way that it works from a rental perspective is it's split into two phases. So from now until the end of 2027, so 2 years and a bit, we have what's called a guaranteed return offer that, regardless of the result of the rental operation in a given year, an owner who has come in will get a fixed return on their investment, the average being, or the standard package being 5% calculated on the property purchase price. For the sake of maths, let's say simply buy the property for 500,000 euros, 5% return, that's 25,000 euros return that is paid out to an owner. There are 5 different packages. So I just outlined the standard one. There are 5 different packages depending on different types of self-use. Some people, we've had one offer come in for somebody who doesn't want to visit Portugal at all, just sees the value of the rental operation and wants to invest in that. And so that obviously would correspond to the maximum amount of return, because then all 365 days are available for third parties to rent the property. And then there are 3 other packages for different types of people, depending on whether you have kids in school age, whether you want to spend the entire winter in the property and then rent it out just in summer. So there's a lot of flexibility there. And it's just a balance basically between the amount of self-use and the return that you earn at the end of the day. Now, moving on to what happens from 2028 onwards. This is, it's a pool or a pot type system that basically means of all of the 2-bedroom properties, all of the income and all of the costs are pooled. Management company Details earns 15% as their remuneration for running the whole operation. And then the remaining 85% is earned by the owners. Costs are deducted, and then the profit is shared at year's end. The whole idea behind this, we can't take credit for coming up with it. It's a concept that came from Turismo de Portugal, the tourism board of Portugal. It's all about alignment of interests and protecting everyone's position in a given deal. So everything is written down in the contract, no surprises at any point, and that's also all monitored and verified independently, so that from an investor's perspective, this is a low-risk investment that is very much hands-off and turnkey, in the sense that Details is there to take care of everything. And if and when you want to visit, you're on holiday rather than taking care of the property itself. You've got a pro to do that. That's what I wanted to share with you today. So finally, what I wanted to point out is we've partnered with Ideal Homes on this project in the context of this webinar, and the prices of the townhouses range from 519,500 to 599,500. And for a limited time only, what we've done is we've selected 3 of the properties with the lower price tags, so that require less capital investment from an investor, but will still generate a comparable yield to the remaining properties. It's on a first come, first serve basis. So reach out to the Ideal Homes team. I'll be available to help as well. And find the right property for you. Thank you for your time. Thanks, John.
Thank you, Michael. That's very, very, very informative. But if you have any questions or anything he may have missed, just give us at the end of the Q&A at the end, we'll have questions and answers. Now, if you're considering finance, let's go over to Alejandro, who will explain just how easy it is to finance a property here in Portugal. And we've got some really low interest rates, and that's even available to foreign buyers. So, Alejandro, tell us more.
Thank you, John. Thank you. And thanks to everyone that is joining us this afternoon. As John mentioned, Portugal is welcoming to foreign investors to purchase real estate here in the country. And the banks are offering very competitive rates when it comes to this particular development. In Vale de Lapa, the banks will allow you to finance up to 70% of its value with competitive rates, depending on the situation and the financial plan that you try to accomplish that goes from 2.65% and it can go a little bit up to like 3.75% depending on the situation, which is very, very competitive according to market. When it comes to the actual process of a mortgage, it consists on all financial documents that are very, very familiar and close for you to obtain. It's nothing out of the ordinary. You know, bank structure is gonna base it on personal incomes, and they allow you to take up to 40% of your net income as total debt, and that's when it comes that's the way that they structure the loans. Also, they allow you to finance this property up to the age of 80, okay, which is a huge plus for attaining a longer term. And besides that, the process from beginning to end, it could take between 30 to 45 days with no delays. It's very simple, nothing out of the ordinary, as I said before, and we're looking forward to working with you, John.
Thank you, Alejandro. Any questions are going to Q&A at the end. Alejandro will be here to answer those as well. Now, the buying process. I'd like to introduce you to Marissa, a Portuguese lawyer here. She will guide you through the buying process in Portugal and the legal insights for international investors. Now, this is where my Portuguese comes in. Boa tarde, Marissa. Welcome. Take it away. Tell us more.
Thank you, John. It is a pleasure to be here in this webinar with all of you. I'm a Portuguese lawyer and I'm the founder and manager of the law firm Legal Quest. We have offices here in Portugal and also in the Algarve. To buy a property here in Portugal, the first step it will be to choose the property that you want to buy. As soon as you choose the property that you want to buy, it is necessary to do the reservation of the property. In this case, the reservation of the property will be with 6,000 euros, and we'll say to the seller that you have interest in buying the property, and the seller will take the property out of the sales market. The property will stay out of the sales market for a period, a limited period, to do the legal due diligence regarding the documents of the property and the documents of the seller. And it is in this period of time that is important to appoint a lawyer. A lawyer will check all the documents of the seller, all the documents of the property, will check if the property is proper registered at the land registry office, at the tax department, if the seller has debts, and if everything is okay, the lawyer will start the preparation of the contracts that are necessary to sign here in Portugal. The first contract that it is necessary to sign here in Portugal, it will be called the promissory agreement of purchase and sale, or the promissory contract of purchase and sale. In this contract, you will have the identification of the seller, the identification of the buyers, the identification of the property, the timings that you will have for the completion, and also the purchase price. Regarding this contract, it is also necessary to do a first payment to the seller. In this case of this resort, it will be 10% of the purchase price. By the Portuguese law, we do not have a limit for this first payment. In this specific case of this resort, it will be 10%. The promissory agreement of purchase and sale, it is an important contract because it is also a binding contract between the parties. For example, if the seller don't fulfill the contract, you can claim your 10% deposit in double. If the buyers don't fulfill the contract, the seller can stay with the 10%, not in double. The 10% in double is the penalty that a buyer can claim regarding if the seller do not fulfill the contract. Since these properties are ready to rent, It is not necessary to request any other license to do rentals. It is also necessary to sign together with the promissory agreement of purchase and sale a second contract that we call the rental touristic agreement. In this rental touristic agreement, it will stay there the operational rules of the resort and also the important things that Michael were mentioned regarding the management company, regarding your rental return, regarding the period of time that you can occupy the property, the costs that you will have, how much you will receive in terms of profits. So in this rental touristic agreement, it will state all the conditions, all the rules for the rentals. Here in Portugal, when you buy a property like this one with a touristic license, only one management company can do the rentals of the property. So you are buying the ownership of the property, but you will have just one entity to do the rentals, which will also give security and will also give guarantees regarding the quality, the standard, and the rental income that you will receive, because you will not have several companies doing the rentals. You will have a management company that will do everything for you. After the signature of these two contracts that I was mentioning, the promissory agreement of purchase and sale and the rental touristic agreement, we can start the preparation of the completion of your purchase. We normally set up the completion of the purchase in a notary office. It is called the deed. And the notary will again double check all the documents of the seller and all the documents of the property. Here in Portugal, we will also check before the completion deed that you are buying the property without charges, mortgages, or encumbrances or debts from the side of the seller. This means that the only mortgage that it will stay registered at the documents of the property is in case you request a mortgage to buy the property. In case you do not need a mortgage to buy the property, there it will not be registered any charge, mortgages, and encumbrances regarding your property. After the completion deed, we can also help with the utilities. We can help you with a Portuguese will, for example, here in Portugal. We can help you also opening a bank account here in Portugal. In terms of documents that you will need to buy a property, you will need your identification documents and also a document called the Portuguese fiscal number. Here in Portugal, you will listen also the NIF number. That's how we call to this Portuguese fiscal number. The Portuguese fiscal number is necessary to buy properties here in Portugal, to do contracts, to open bank accounts, but don't mean that you will change your fiscal address into Portugal. You will continue to pay the taxes regarding your income outside Portugal. And the only taxes that you will need to pay here in Portugal are the taxes related with the property. The taxes related with the purchase of the property, it will be two taxes that you just pay once. You will pay the property transfer tax and you will pay the stamp duty. Regarding the touristic properties, the property transfer tax, it will be 6.5% of the purchase price, and the stamp duty, it will be 0.8% of the purchase price. So I can say that in terms of closing costs, including the taxes, the notary fees, the lawyer fees, you will need to count with about between 9.5% of the purchase price in terms of the closing costs. If you are here in Portugal, you can sign the contracts. However, if you are not here in Portugal, it is also to do the purchase without your physical presence in Portugal. For that, you can issue a power of attorney that will give powers to a lawyer to do everything for you, to do the negotiations with the seller, to help you with the completion deed. With power of attorney, we can sign the completion deed on your behalf. And also, in case you request a mortgage, we will have also powers to help you with the mortgage documents. So to complete, to end my speech, I will say, and I can say to you that with legal good advice, it is safe to buy here in Portugal because we check all the documents of the property and all the documents of the seller. And before the completion, the notary will again double check all the documents of the property and all the documents of the seller. So, in case you will purchase a property here in Portugal, I hope to help you. It will be a pleasure to help you with the purchase and also to meet you here in Portugal.
Obrigado. Thank you, Marissa. Very detailed and very
John.
structured. So, next, another important factor about buying a property is currency. When you purchase a property, a currency company can save you money. And we're going to go over to Claire at Moving Currency, who will explain the benefits in using her and for international transfers. Claire, tell us more.
Hello everyone. My name's Claire, and I'm founder of Moving Currency, and I help international property buyers transfer their money safely and cost effectively when purchasing a property overseas. Moving Currency has been in operation since 2019, and we partner with GC partners in the UK, and we're authorised and regulated by the FCA, and we support clients from all over the world. When you're buying a property in Portugal, you will need to pay for that property in euros. So if you're coming from a different country, we help you convert your funds to euros at a better exchange rate than you would get with your bank. And there's no transfer fees or charges either. So when you're transferring larger amounts, it really can save you quite a lot of money. Security of funds is a priority for us, and we hold segregated client accounts, similar to what you might recognize as escrow accounts, and they're held with Citibank in the US and Barclays in the UK, and we're under strict FCA regulations as well. Now, setting up your account is very simple and completely free. You can go to our website, which is movingcurrency.com. You just click the button to open your account and then just fill out quickly the online form. There's no obligation to use your account, but it's there ready to use whenever you need it. The transfer process is also very simple. And the first time you're likely to use Moving Currency is when you decide to reserve a property and you need to send over your €6,000 reservation deposit. So what I will do is confirm the cost of €6,000 in your home currency. Then we'll get the transfer set up for you, and we'll get that €6,000 over to the lawyers, and that's your property reserved for you. The next payment coming up after that will be once the lawyer has done their due diligence, and that will be when you're signing the initial contract and you need to send over another 10% of the purchase price. So at that point, the lawyer will confirm the amount that's needed in euros, and then I'll confirm with you the amount that will cost in your home currency. And again, we'll get those funds transferred, and then you're able to sign the contract for your property. After that, you'll be looking at the final payment for completion. Now, this might be cash, it might be mortgage and cash, whatever you decide to do. The lawyer, again, will break down all the costs for you, the amounts needed, and the total amount in euros. So I will confirm the cost of that in your home currency, and we'll get those funds over to Portugal for you, keeping an eye on that deadline date for your completion so we can make sure the funds are here in time. Another option for you as well is forward buying. So once you've reserved the property and you're sure that you're going to proceed, we can lock in the exchange rate for you. And then you know that the exchange rate is not going to affect the price of your property, and the price of your property won't fluctuate with the exchange rate. So that's another option for you. We also monitor exchange rates. So if you're coming up for your promissory payment or your completion payment, we'll keep an eye on the exchange rates for you and let you know if it moves in your favour, and then you might want to transfer funds over at that point. Once you've completed on your property, we're still here to assist with any other payments. So whether you're topping up your bank account, paying your mortgage, buying furniture, or even at the point when you're transferring your rental income back to your home country, we can help you out with that too. So I'll be here to assist you from reservation right through to completion, and even long after that, whenever you need us. Thank you so much for your time today. And if you have any questions at all, I'll be here until the end to answer all of those.
Thank you, Claire. Very detailed again. And just before we go, I'm going to introduce you to Kathy in a second, but we have got lots of questions and answers coming through now. Please bear with us. But let me just introduce you to Kathy, the CEO at Ideal Homes, to explain she's got a considerable amount of knowledge in the overseas property business. So, Kathy, tell us more.
Thank you, John. I just want to welcome everyone who has joined the webinar. I do appreciate you spending part of your Saturday evening with us. As CEO of Ideal Homes and with over 25 years' experience in selling overseas properties, I am myself a seasoned investor who has, on occasions, purchased properties and investments over the phone. However, I have often asked clients, would they buy a property without seeing it? And of course, the answer is normally no. That's why we developed our VIP tours. Our VIP tours are comprehensive, personalised, and subsidised depending on the time of the year. And we've partnered with Michael, who you heard from before from Vale de Lapa, to offer special deals for yourselves. I would just briefly explain what typically happens on a VIP tour with Ideal Homes. When you arrive at the airport, you'll be picked up by one of our property specialists. This specialist would have had all your criteria, created a portfolio of properties that suit your needs. They will then take you to the hotel. And of course, over the 2 or 3 days, you'll explore. I mean, even people from USA might need more time. That's fine. We're flexible. But you will show you a variety of properties tailored to your preferences. We don't just take you to view the property, we also show you around the area. I feel that's really important because many have not been to visit Portugal before. And even if they have, they're not familiar with all the areas inside out as locals are. So during your stay, depending on your circumstances, we can arrange meetings with Marissa, the lawyer who's just spoken, Alejandro, if you choose finances, and Claire for the currency exchange, which is a must because it saves you money. We'll also guide you through the after-sale services, rental options if required, and furniture specialists if required. And for those who can't visit immediately, we'll arrange a unique benefit. You can pre-reserve one of the selected units that Michael discussed earlier, and he will hold that for you, giving you time for one of our team to organise your visit. This is flexibility and personalised approach ensures your property journey is smooth, seamless, and convenient. Thank you, and I look forward to meeting you hopefully soon on your VIP tour with Ideal Homes Portugal. Anyway, without further ado, I am sure that you've got many questions to ask the panel, so I will pass you over back to John for the Q&A session.
Thank you, Kathy. And I must agree, the viewing trips are really good. And they're actually very enjoyable. So look about the viewing trips. Now, we're getting lots of questions coming in. Let's have a quick look. Michael, one question's coming in. Need to know the rough average guaranteed rent per month season and the whole season.
Yes. So for the first few years, up until the end of 2027, we've got that guarantee in place. So you just take the property purchase amount and multiply it by the percentage of the respective package. Again, let's take the standard package. It's 5%. That's easy for mathematics. You purchase for 500,000 euros 5% is 25K per year. That is earned by an owner in that case. There are some packages which have less usage and more return, and other packages which have more usage and less return. That's the way.
Okay, I've got another one for you as well, Michael. Are the amenities included in the unit price, or own and pay for use?
No, that's the beauty at Val de Lapa. Once you arrive, it's basically all included in the sense, not just the amenities, but also they have bicycles outside the reception. You just sign up and borrow a bicycle and go take a little tour of the surrounding area. John, you and I joke a lot about the fact that there's a Michelin restaurant 30 seconds away,
Yeah.
but I'm cheap, so I go to the restaurant right next door, which has the same owner, but much lower rates. And you can do that with the bicycle and you borrow from Val de Lapa, not rent. So you just pay for services. Food and beverage, obviously, you pay. If you want to get a massage or a pedicure, I know you like them, John, then you pay. But the pools, so the bicycles, borrowing a basketball for the kids to play on the basketball court, that's all included.
Right. And while I've got you, Michael, because I've got a few questions coming in for you here. What is the period allowed for the owner to occupy the unit or have vacation? What time frame? I know that is a little bit of a variation, so you better explain that.
But there's 5 different packages for 5 different types of people. So, for instance, a package which we expect is going to be very popular with the Scandinavians is going to be what we offer is the winter residence package, where people can stay up to 20 weeks, 140 days, but only in the winter. So the idea is for somebody who wants to arrive beginning of November and not leave their property again until the end of March. That's one package available. Then there is one that's targeted at golfers. So it's a combination of the winter and what we call the shoulder months. So let's say April, end of September, those sorts of months. 5 different packages with different rights of self-use is the way that we call it.
Okay. I'm going to leave you for a moment, Michael, and just go over to Alejandro. There's a question here, Alejandro. I think it was, bear with me. I think it's on mortgages. Yeah. Can you send how the payment starts, installments, and how many years, chances of mortgages, time of occupancy, if that makes sense? So that's
I think that's a complex question.
Yeah.
I mean, a few items on the same question. I believe I saw it here. Chances of more time of occupancy. Well, when it comes to the mortgages itself, we have here in Portugal, we have 3 different programs. Okay, one is it could be the 6-month Euribor rate that they apply to. There is a mixed fixed program and there is a fixed program. Okay, every single program comes with rules and regulations, of course. Okay. The most common program that investors are taking advantage of is the mixed fixed rate, which will fix your rate on a very low interest for a certain time. It could be 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. And then after the term is over, will automatically revert into a Euribor, into a variable rate, okay? A 6-month variable rate, depending on what the market is going on right now. At the time, not right now, at the time that happens. As an example, right now, the Euribor is 2.102, okay? In addition to that, the bank is gonna add their margin, which normally varies from 0.5 to 0.75, added to that particular rate when it comes to a variable rate. Okay, John?
Okay. Mossan, if you've got, that was from Mossan, but if you want to give us a call, in the comments below, our phone numbers down there, someone can speak to you about the other bits on that one. So also, I've got a question from Marissa now. When you own a property in Portugal, is it freehold or leasehold?
Is freehold. You buy the ownership of the property. It's freehold.
Yeah. Okay. Michael, insurance. Do I need insurance on the properties? And I personal, well, yeah, but business liability. For sorry, what insurance do I need on the properties on
Yeah.
Vale de Lapa?
Liability insurance is covered as the management company details is responsible for the resort. They have to have a very comprehensive liability insurance, and it's also checked by the Tourism Board of Portugal and all that. No need for an individual buyer to have anything on the side of liability insurance. What you do need to insure is the property itself and the contents. Um, I have a ready-made package. People can choose whichever, insurance broker they want to. I asked for one that people can opt into. It's 410 euros per year for the property and the content insured, 410 per year. So the insurance rates are very low here.
Okay, thank you. Claire, question for you. Currency exchange. Can you set a forward rate?
Yes, we can. We can, when you decided you're definitely proceeding, we can lock in the exchange rate on a day that the exchange rate's looking good, and then that's locked in for your next payments.
Okay. Michael, sorry, back to you again. I'm working you hard here. Can I sell the property at any time without incurring a financial penalty?
Absolutely. No restrictions whatsoever. Owners can sell. There's no restriction on what price you sell at. If you sell with an intermediary, who you sell it to, absolutely nothing. Marisa can confirm this. The condition of any touristic property sale, any notary will insist that the exploration, the touristic management contract is passed on along with the property sale. That's a condition of any touristic property sale. That's the only condition, but no other restrictions apply. You don't need to ask anyone. You just need to let them know once it's done, basically.
Okay. Alejandro, I think I know the answer to this one. Do you charge for your mortgage service?
I know you know. No, we don't. Our service is free to you, and we look forward to work with you. We make it as simple as it could be for you to understand the process, and we guide you through the process till the very end, till the day that you sign your deed, as Marisa mentioned earlier today.
Okay. Thank you for that. And also back to Michael again. Thanks for all the questions. They're coming in thick and fast. Is there security on the property? Well, before you answer that, Michael, Algarve is one of the safest places. It's an amazing place. But over to you, Michael.
Fully agree, John. Yeah. Somewhat superfluous, but yes, there is not just 24-hour security, but also in the circulation areas. So the roads and paths, there's CCTV monitoring those areas. And the way that the security works basically is that during the day, the management company details is responsible for the security because they never have less than 20 staff on site in a given day. And then between the hours of 6 p.m. and 8 a.m., there's a barrier at the entrance of the resort. There's only one entrance, which is then monitored by a local security company. And the gentleman lets people in and out of the resort. And once an hour, he does a lap on foot to check that everything's okay. Surprise, surprise, things are always okay. But the company name is brilliant. They're called COPS, COPS, the security company.
Okay, thank you for that. Marissa, back to you. Can I include members of the family on the property title?
Here in Portugal, you can buy the property alone. You can buy the property with other members of the family. You will be, in that case, co-owners of the property. And you can also buy the property with a Portuguese company or with a company that requests here in Portugal a Portuguese fiscal number to buy the property. So the answer is yes. You can buy the property with other members of the family.
I've just got a question coming in. Can the property be placed in a trust?
Here in Portugal, the Portuguese tax authorities don't recognize the figure of the trust. However, as I was saying, it is both possible to buy the property or using a Portuguese company. We can help you to set up a Portuguese company to buy the property. Or in case you have a foreign company, we can request a Portuguese fiscal number for your foreign company just for the purpose to buy properties here in Portugal. Or even your foreign company can be the shareholder of a Portuguese company that it is possible to create here in Portugal. I know that for the USA citizens, the question about the trust is important, but I also can say to you that here in Portugal, we do not have at the present moment inheritance tax between members of the couples and parents and children. So one of the figures of the trust, I know that it is used also in the United States for because of this tax situation, but here in Portugal we do not have inheritance tax between these members of the families, couples and parents and children.
Thank you. You've answered that question there as well. So, what is there a cost price to set up a company to ensure property protection?
We have a cost to set up a Portuguese company. To set up a Portuguese company, a simple one is around 400 euros. And also you will need to count with some lawyer's fees for that.
Okay.
But the costs of the Portuguese authorities to set up a company are between 360 and 400 euros.
Thank you for that. Back to you, Michael. Is there any further construction planned in the resort?
No, the resort is fully built, and even the renovation works, I haven't addressed that. Between the years of 2021 and 2023, the resort was fully renovated. Common areas, the properties themselves, inside, outside, even technical issues were addressed and resolved. No further construction or even renovation planned at this time. Actually, not planned. There can be no more construction because there's no more construction rights, similar to almost 99% of the rest of Carvoeiro. Everything that you can build has been built in the area because of the high demand nature of it.
Okay, thank you for that. And just going back again to Marissa, Sean that answered that last question is just can you give a rough price on what the lawyer's fee would be to set up a property company, the charge for Portuguese company?
So in our law firm, to set up a Portuguese company, we charge 1,500 euros.
Okay.
One thing that it is also, I think it is also important to mention is in case you want to buy the property requesting a mortgage, it will be more simple, and Alejandro can also confirm this. It will be more simple if you buy the property in personal names because here in Portugal, since you are going to set up a new company, the banks will not have history for that company. So in case the purchase is with mortgage, it is better to think buying the property in personal names.
Thank you for that. Question just come in. Can I buy one of these properties without coming to Portugal? So I'm very busy at work. Well, yes, Kathy did mention about that. If you've only just come in, basically, yes, you can do that. We can do a virtual tour. And we've got the videos. If you can check out our YouTube channel, IHTV, I've done a video there personally of Vale de Lapa, so that'd be worth checking it out. So yes, to that you can. Another quick one, mortgages. Alejandro, you mentioned you can offer mixed rates and fixed rates. Can you just recap on that, please?
Yes, yes. The mixed fixed rates are one of the most popular programs that the clients are taking advantage of because they're most of the buyers here, they don't know what are they going to be doing with the property in the next 3 to 5 years. So they rather fix the rate for the shorter term, which is 3 or 5 years, and then knowing that it will automatically revert into a variable rate, which allow them then to resell their property um, without having to pay a huge amount of prepayment penalties. Here in Portugal, there are prepayment penalties. Okay, there is no way around it. Either if you pay off your mortgage during your fixed term, the prepayment penalty is going to be 2% of the amount that you're paying off. Instead of if you do it during the variable rate, the percentage is 0.5% instead. So that's why. Okay.
Okay, lovely. Thank you for that. In fact, there's no one to come. Is the resort near golf courses and tennis facilities and the distance from the airport? Well, I can answer that one, can't I? Yeah. Faro Airport, you land at Faro Airport, you've got the A22, so I would say 40 minutes on the motorway. It's easy to get to. And the other thing about the Algarve, if you're not aware, we rarely have traffic jams. It's really great. And as for golf, I mean, you've got Val de Pinta, Gramacho, Amendoeira, 18-hole golf courses there of Gips and Nick Faldo, Christy O'Connor. You've got a nine-hole floodlit golf course there. You've got Silves. You've got Penina. I mean, I would say within 15 minutes, so there's a new golf course being built at Ferraguda, which is going to be opening in March 26. So for golf and tennis and convenience, you're near everything. And Cabrera town has got lots of lovely restaurants. And if you've never been to the Algarve, never been to that particular area, you've got the most amazing beaches. I mean, the whole Algarve's got beaches, but there you go out on boat trips and you go in the little coves and the caves. So it's a great location, great resort. You've got everything going for you there. So yeah. So any more questions coming in? We're actually coming to the end. Let's just recap and just go through. Your questions are still coming in, but what I would suggest, we've got agents available 7 days a week here. You can contact us. Our details are in the comments section below. They will guide you through everything and highlighting where each unit is at Vale de Lapa. And obviously, if you want to reserve one, it's a simple process. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed. I know the result. I go there a lot, and it is first class, works 5-star. And again, it's first come, first serve. We'll have a waiting list. So should you miss out, we'll put you on the waiting list for certain ones. And this is a key for unlocking a significantly enhanced return on your investment. It's not to be missed. Reserve a unit with a 6,000 reservation fee. And the other thing I'd like to point out is, if you've got any further questions, as I said, contact the team. Look at our website, idealhomesportugal.com. On there, we have a wide selection of properties here in the Algarve, whether it's a villa, whether it's apartments, townhouses. Maybe Vale de Lapa is not for you, but check that out. And also check out our luxury collection. We've got so much, and Ideal Homes give you more of a personal service, I feel. But I would like to thank each and every one of you who's registered and attending. And if you haven't signed up for our Investors Club, it's free to sign up. Please sign up and you'll get all the latest information that will come through to you on your emails. And from myself and the whole team, we look forward to hopefully seeing you over here in the beautiful Algarve and helping you on your next step going forward. Again, a big thank you from all of us here in the sunny Algarve, but it's just going a bit dark now. So I'd like to thank you all. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. And I hope we've been of help to you.